So in the last video, I kind of showed you how to build out a Claude skill and what its importance is, but I also want to show you how you can set up your own plugin marketplace so that if you have your own skills or slash commands, people can actually install them directly into your project. So what we're going to do is I'm going to copy this URL, and I have a marketplace repo already set up. I'm just going to go ahead and create a really simple slash command so that I can install it on my other project. So I'm going to paste the link to this. Can you please create a simple slash command, which will kick off 10 different subagents to generate as many skills as necessary, analyze the code base, and try to figure out what tech stack they're using. And then when you create these skills, I want you to create a separate skill for security, a skill for performance, a skill for React code, depending on if they have React or not. Check out their backend and try to figure out what skills that you could actually generate so that in the future, when we're prompting the LM, we get the highest quality output of code possible. Now, again, I'm going to kick this off with Composer 1, but you can use Haiku. I just find Composer 1 the fastest model I've used, so I don't want to wait around for this stuff to finish. But you'll see it's going into the Claude plugin directory, and it created a marketplace JSON. Okay, now what this is going to do is going to describe so that when someone tries to install your marketplace, what plugins you have and how it kind of all works, right? And then it also created a plugins directory called codebase analyzer, and we have some agents in here, we have some commands in here that we can run. And this one is analyze and generate skills. So I think we can probably keep it as is. It's supposed to go through and try to figure out how to generate these skills over your code base. Now it looks like it also created the agents which will be kind of used in the project. I think the slash command is going to use these as a template to try to figure out how to generate the skills based on this information. Go ahead and commit those. We can push them up. And now I'm going to go over to another terminal, and we're going to have Claude Code running over here. I'm going to say slash plugin. We're going to go over to the marketplaces. I'm going to add a new one. We're going to say agentic jumpstart slash marketplace. And we should be able to install all of those skills and slash commands directly into our code base. Now we see that we have the code base analyzer. I'm going to go ahead and just install this. And we're going to install it just for this project. I'll just do the project scope. It's fine. And then we'll see our settings JSON update with the code base analyzer at the code base skills marketplace. All right. So now we have this slash command, code base analyzer, which we can actually run. And that's the exact same slash command that we just created in this other repository. Okay. So I'm going to run this. And then it's going to actually create a bunch of skills for us that's going to really understand my Agentic Jumpstart course, because this is using tan stack start and some other tech that I want my code to really be familiar with. So I'm going to kick this one off with Opus 4.5, and that should do a really deep dive analysis on how my code is set up and create skills so that later on when I'm prompting, I'm going to get a lot better outputs. Now, I will say, if there's anything I'm teaching that you enjoy in this video, I do have a course, agenticjumpstart.com, where I teach Claude Code, Cursor, how to do agentic coding. I have 82 videos and 12.5 hours of content. I'm adding videos to it basically daily at this point. And in this course, I do show you how to build out a full stack web application using my workflow. So if you're kind of new to agentic coding, maybe you haven't really dived too into a Claude Code or Cursor or all these tools, you feel a little bit overwhelmed, I think this course can actually help you get on course to be ahead of the game when it comes to coding with AI. All right, so as you can see, it's kicking off many different subagents to explore my code base and try to generate skills that are related to the following thing, like database, security analysis, etc. So I'm going to let this run, and then we'll come back and see how this actually works. All right, looks like the subagents are done exploring the code base. Now it's going to write out those skills in the .claude skills directory. Cool, so now that's done, and we can kind of go through all the skills that were added to our code base. The cool thing about this is now every skill is specific to my code base. So like all of these server functions, this is all related to tan stack start. So kind of dive through my code base. I figured out how to add in my admin middleware, how to add in whatever unauthenticated middleware. And it just has a better understanding of how I'm writing stuff without it having to go and deep dive throughout my code base every single time I prompt it. It kind of knows the best way to write backend code, database code. This has all the drizzle stuff already set up in it, how to add into the schema, how relationships are all defined. And this will just give you a much higher quality output when you're prompting. Now, the one thing I noticed is that my plugin didn't actually create different directories for all the skills. Like you're supposed to have a different directory for all these skills. So I might have to go back and fix my plugin real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and just paste this in. You didn't create the skills properly. Every skill should have its own subdirectory, and then you can put the skill.md file inside of that subdirectory. Do a quick little refactoring here. I'll have to go back to my other prompt over here and just fix that. Can you make sure that the analyze and generate skills slash command properly describes how to create a skill? Like you should have a skills directory, and inside that you have subdirectories, and then inside of that you have a skill.md file that describes how to actually apply the skill. All right, so now that basically is going to have all my different skills put here: security, performance, React, backend code. In fact, I might even prefix these with like agentic jumpstart so that it's obvious to tell that this is a skill that came from this. When you create the skills, can you prefix it with agentic jumpstart? All right, so now we have a prefix, and all these skills should work at this point. I'm going to add this one. I'm going to go ahead and commit this. I will have to test this again later to make sure it's good. But now we should have all these skills put in their own directory. And then eventually it should refactor the MD file to say skill.md. All right, so I think this is almost done. I just need to tell it to rename the .md file to skill. And I'm also going to paste it over here to make sure it has like the up-to-date information about how you can actually do a Claude skill. All right, so now those are actually set up properly. And then we can type in skills and we see a list of all the skills here that will hopefully automatically kick in when we ask a prompt to change something. So I'm actually going to go over here and we're going to go back to a prompt. Can you please add in a new resources link which goes to the marketplace page, then have a link to this new skill that I added to the Agentic Jumpstart /marketplace. So I'm going to kick this one off. Basically what I'm asking it to do is up here, add a new link. In fact, I probably could have just taken a screenshot so it has a little bit more context and throw that in too. And then going back over to my other project, let's just double check to make sure that it did capitalize everything here. So capital skill, I believe, is the format we should be doing. And yeah, I could just go ahead and commit this one too. I think the skill should be in a much better state than it was. Okay, it looks like this is done and we can go back and we should have a marketplace here. All right, now we have a skill marketplace page, which kind of lets us know how to install the skill. This is not the right command here, but overall it looks like the same style of my application, which is good. And I'm gonna go ahead and say, this is not the right install command. Please look up the Claude SDK docs, the Claude Code docs to figure out the right command. Also wrap the page inside of a container so that the title is also aligned with the content. Go ahead and kick off those two things. Okay, and there you have it. We have a new page now. I can get this deployed out to production. We have the link. We have a command of how to actually install this in Claude Code, Agentic Jumpstart /marketplace, and then we have a link to the repository. So now my course members can actually start downloading this. So if you guys are interested in learning more about Claude Code and agentic coding, remember to go check out agenticjumpstart.com. This is my course, a bunch of good information on it. Have a good day. Happy coding.